youcanrefi.com, right,
Correct.
Jordan? All right,
Correct.
great. Thank you for that. Paul of Cincinnati, Ohio asks, I went online to inquire about modifying my house loan, and I got a barrage of people who were willing to help. Of those people, some were lawyers. Do I need a lawyer to do a mortgage modification? What is the best way? What would you tell Paul, Jordan?
Well, he is correct. There's a lot of scamsters in this particular area. All the people that used to sell subprime loans are now doing mortgage modification. They figure they get them up front, now they'll get them on the back end, so we got to be careful about those. In many cases, lawyers are the best place to do it because there's a contract. There's a mortgage as a contract, basically. And to renegotiate or modify that mortgage often requires a legal background. There's a website, a free website that can help people do this, which is modifymymortgage.com. It's actually run by former HUD officials who will refer you to a lawyer in your state to make sure you get a modification. Part of this HAMP program I mentioned before also involves modification. And again, they've made it easier for people to get modifications that was not available in the past. But it's kind of complicated, and having a lawyer is a good idea.
All right. So in this case, a lawyer is your friend. All right, now we have a question from Andrew of Los Angeles, California. He writes in saying, I am behind on my mortgage, and my current mortgage company says my only option is a short sale or to pay up the money I owe. They will proceed with foreclosure papers soon. I need your help to stop the foreclosure or at least stall the process. Oh, our heart goes out to Andrew.
Indeed.
Here.
Well, this is happening to a lot of people. We had 3 million foreclosures last year, about 170,000 mortgage modifications. But the new program that President Obama just came out with says if you're in the middle of a mortgage modification process, they cannot foreclose on you. So you want to start that mortgage modification process and hopefully forestall the foreclosure. I mean, a modification is something that happens when you've got the income to pay a lower amount. If you have no income, you're not going to get a modification. But I would give the same website as before, modifymymortgage.com, and they're helping people prevent foreclosures using this HAMP program.
And what signifies the beginning of a mortgage modification? Just making the phone calls? Do you need some paperwork?
Well, there's a lot of paperwork involved because what you have to do in effect is sell yourself to the mortgage and say, here's why I can pay a lower amount. I'm paying $1,200 now, I can afford $800, and here's my income, here's my expenses, and then say, okay, we believe you, we'll give you the $800. But you've got to make a case as to why you are going to qualify for mortgage modification. Last year, as I mentioned, there was about 170,000 modifications. There were about 800,000 temporary modifications,
right,
and about half of those so-called redefaulted. In other words, they got a lower payment and didn't make the lower payment, so the bank says, why should we give you a break when all these people aren't really following through on what they said they were going to do?
All right, good luck to Andrew. Start that modification process as soon as possible. Now, Amy of Wichita, Kansas asks, I am trying to refinance my home and include my home equity line of credit so I only have one bill to pay. My home does not appraise enough to get the refinance. Can you help me?
Again, I mentioned before, youcanrefi.com, even if you're as much as 25% underwater, there's this FHA program that can indeed help you refinance your home and get a lower interest rate, consolidate it all. Now remember, in the first segment we talked about the mortgage equity acceleration strategy. That might work for her because the HELOC line is going to be at a much lower interest rate, about 3.5% today, as opposed to the traditional mortgage, which is going to be 5% or more. Again, the website for that is truthinequity.com. So that actually might work, is to have it consolidated in the HELOC instead of in the traditional mortgage and save yourself a lot of money.
All right, Amy, that website, truthinequity.org.
Right?
.com.
Right.
Okay, thanks, Jordan. Our last question comes from Tom of Atlanta, Georgia. He writes in saying, I am in a Chapter 13 after I lost my job. My foreclosure is in court right now, and I'm trying to see if they will do a modification. It has been 16 months since I've made a mortgage payment. Are there programs out there that could help me out?
The problem is he doesn't have income, and being unemployed, again, the modification is based on your ability to pay the lower amount. And if you have no income, they're not going to give you much of a break, and particularly he's had 16 months without payment. He's already had a pretty big break here. Sometimes getting foreclosed upon, walking away, is the best thing you can do. You just can't, if you don't have the income, you're not going to be able to support that house. So it's unfortunate, but this is why a lot of people are getting foreclosed upon these days because of unemployment. They do not have the income to keep a mortgage up. It's better to rent sometimes, Tanya, and in a case like him, it's probably better.
So maybe Tom should if this works for him, allow the foreclosure to go forward and then work on the process of rebuilding his credit.
That's right. That's right. I mean,
And getting a
16
job.
months is a long time when you haven't paid. You're
Right.
way, way behind at that point. You could
Right.
try a short sale, which might be helpful, but he doesn't have the income to support a modification or a refinance.
Right. All right. Well, Tom, good luck to you. And Jordan, thank you very much for taking the time to answer our viewer questions.
Thanks very much.
And if you would like to submit a question, go to our website at abcnews.com, click on the Money page, and ask our team of personal finance experts your questions. We'll do our very best to answer them right here on Good Money.